With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. This is Rashad Penny, and he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Here's Wilson. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
Still third down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
And they still need 6 yards here on 3rd down after the penalty. From the shotgun, Wilson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The 13 yards that time and a first.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. And now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, Wilson. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. That's caught at the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make the play on the football.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On second down, here's Penny. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Throwing is Wilson. They set up the screen to Penny. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback. that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Come on, let's go.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. On 3rd down, Wilson. Now they go screen. It's complete. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Oh, and they had him stopped short of the first, but a penalty marker down. And that looked like a clear face mask to me.
Face mask. Defense.
So give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Penny will try to punch it in, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
2nd and goal, and Penny standing by himself in the backfield. Now it's Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
It becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Gotta go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. A very good move, but for a short gain out near the 32. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Tackle made by Rasheem Green. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Trubisky to Gabriel there for a Bears 1st down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
A very solid gain of 27.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. On second down, here's Trubisky. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Not only did they drop it looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. From the shotgun is Trubisky. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Taylor Gabriel, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. And man, Charles, talk about zinging something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Petty, a 1st down carry. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Wilson now on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
On second down, Trubisky. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Trubisky finding the former Eagle Burton for the Chicago first.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
18.
Now Trubisky to throw on second. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman.
Now that's absolutely terrific technique right there by the corner. Exhibit A. Zone coverage, knew where his man was in relation to the football at all times, and made a nice play.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down.
Hey, gotta go. Lock in. Lock in.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, here's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. It's Snyder. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. There's Wilson, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
A little more room here on 2nd and 6 from the 6. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Burton. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
18. Lock in.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Trubisky. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead it just brings up 4th down.
What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 37. Now it's Wilson. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Brandon Graham, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. From the gun, it's Wilson. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Here's Wilson to throw on 3rd down. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
And he'll take this one up to about the 13. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Now it's Trubisky. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Pass interference. Defense.
Well, the crowd doesn't like that. Was going to bring up 4th. Now it's 1st.
They don't like it at all, do they? It brings them back into it, but really not in a positive way. Now they're angry. That can jangle a team a little bit as well. Pass interference ruined that series of downs for them.
Looking to throw Trubisky on 1st down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears are in for 6. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
Here's Russell Wilson in the Seahawk offense now, getting set to go again. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure this team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. To throw on 2nd down, Wilson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Brandon Coleman was the intended target. And it's 3rd and short.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things.
Now Wilson. It got his man complete. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They go play action with Wilson. And he'll go out of bounds is inside the 15-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
The previous play is under review. After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
This challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach wanted to challenge it, so he's probably going to send the New York office a holiday card. The Seahawks on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing again here, Wilson to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
And Vinatieri's kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
The Bears offense led by Mitch Trubisky heading back out there. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them the lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Now a handoff looking right. Look at the spin.
Balance.
That one good for 12 yards. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. The Bears on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Now they'll run it on the toss. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we reach halftime with the visiting Bears out on top here. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Burton. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A gain of 19 in picking up the first.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago.
Come on, gotta go.
And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
And he is down deep into Seattle territory. It's a big-time play there for the Bears. 41 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, That'll drive a team towards a victory.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Hey, gotta go, gotta go. 18.
Now Trubisky. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference. Defense.
And since the penalty occurred in the end zone, move the ball to the 1-yard line.
First and goal from the 1-yard line. Costly penalty.
Here's Trubisky to throw. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Bears will extend their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
This is taken at the 3. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. They trail offense first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And they'll run it again with Penny. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. On third down, Wilson. And he finds Penny. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And a gain there of 11 yards. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Okay, let's face it. Most of the offensive linemen in today's NFL, they're going to weigh over 300 pounds, but that doesn't mean they don't have agility. And the way that they can get out in front of a runner.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. It's a foot race. 20, 10, and they will score a pick-6 for a Bears touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Parkey adds the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much, Les?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. After the penalty, it's Penny. And he's going to be unable to get upfield as they take him down at the 21-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Again, it's Penny. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They go play action now. Wilson. And that is incomplete.
We're into the 2nd half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This is fielded at the 7. Oh, good footwork on the spin. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Bears take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
He finds an opening past the 40, and he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And 3 yards there takes them to the 45.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Let's go. Lock in, lock in. Hey, gotta go. Lock in. Hey, 18. Blue.
Here's Trubisky. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 at enemy territory.
Come on.
Trubisky now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. They go play action with Trubisky. Past the 20. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he's taken down inside the red zone past the Seattle 15. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Trubisky on 1st down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Bears will add on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a 1st down.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Dumps that off to Penny as running back. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Throwing is Wilson. His throw incomplete.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
But sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He's got Lockett. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up the 1st down.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Wilson will throw again. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they're going to stop him here short of the goal line with the flag down. Well, this could set up a very interesting decision.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. To throw again is Wilson. This will be caught just inside the 10. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They make a good bit of that yardage back as they're set up in much better shape now for 2nd and goal.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he? And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off with great anticipation. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Red, tuck. Lock in, lock in.
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. Caught out left side by Robinson. Trubisky hitting Robinson for a big one. 43 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Watch tight. Tight is right. Even. 4 down. Even.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Frank Clark in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week. And this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back. And they did a great job in the first half. But now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure.
And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. And he makes it all the way down to the 13-yard line. A huge play there for Chicago. 41 yards.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that. But I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in the diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove manufacturers got smart and started adding to it, and here we are today.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down right around the 27. Eddie Jackson with a tackle.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Wilson on third down. They set up the screen to Penny. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Now on fourth down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout as they stop it prior to what will be an important fourth down. Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been terrific so far. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Back on day one, they said they were capable of winning 10 games this year. They said that in this locker room. They were right. This makes it an even 10.
And typically, if you win 10, it puts you right in the hunt for the playoffs. It doesn't ensure it, but 10 wins, an excellent goal for any team before a season.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Seattle, so long, everybody.